Hello everyone, this is Bhavya Shamalia, a student of Faculty of Law at the Maharaja Sahajirao University of Baroda, and we are honored to have with us Professor Dr. Bhavna Mehta, Professor at the Faculty of Social Work, former Dean and Head of Department of the Faculty of Social Work, former Officer on Special Duty at the Faculty of Law, the current Director at the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, and former Director of Office of Corporate Affairs at the Maharaja Sahajirao University of Baroda. We welcome you to the podcast, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, to begin with the podcast, ma'am, you have had a elating career of 30 years of experience at the Faculty of Social Work. So, how important have the gender issues been in the intervention of legal concerns?
The world is made of two gender, male and female. And as a social worker, we are supposed to work with people, and people include naturally both. When half of the population of the world is female, our concerns have to be addressing gender issues. As a social worker, we work with the poorest of the poor of the society. We work with the most vulnerable groups of the society. We work with the most disadvantaged section of the society. And we all know that in the society, especially in the Indian society, when we look around, we find women, people with disability, children as the most vulnerable groups, disadvantaged group within the society. So naturally our focus is more on that, and when we work with children, also again between a male child and a female child. The kind of a society in which we live, which has such a strong patriarchal mindset, the female child naturally requires more attention. So in all, as a social worker, gender issue has always been a center stage.
Following up to that, how does the Faculty of Social Work help identify such gender issues in our society?
As students of Faculty of Social Work are expected to work in different settings while they are studying at the Faculty of Social Work. So typically these settings include rural areas, urban poor areas, or organizations, voluntary organizations, CSR foundations, working on social issues, health setting, that is the hospitals, public hospitals, where our students go and work, or even in case of industries, our students go and work. Now, wherever they work, when they work on people's issues, they identify different issues, and within that, naturally, it comes, very glaringly, even in their exposure to rural areas, urban slums, when they work with any organizations, or within the industrial organizations also, they find that women is one group, or gender issues are one area where attentions are required. So during their field work, when they go out in the field to work with people, they naturally it is very obvious for them to identify those issues. Plus, in our theory, whatever we teach in the classrooms, we have subjects like rural development, we have subjects like social development, we have subjects like how to work on social issues. So within that also women's issues and gender issues get quite highlighted and discussed about. Because we cannot achieve sustainable development goals, we cannot have a rural development without the involvement and participation of women and without addressing issues which concerns them.
That is great to know that the Faculty of Social Work is helping the students understand the ground level reality of the society. When you have said that there is curriculum specifically for rural areas as well, how do you train the students to understand the legal landscape of women's safety, and how are they effectively able to advocate for such survivors in the field?
When you identify the issue, the role of a social worker doesn't restrict or stop at where just identifying the issues. We are expected even to address it. Now when we are supposed to address it, we try to look at it in terms of what are the government programs, policies, mechanisms, measures that are available within the within those boundaries that can help people. Within that, legal framework comes as a very handy tool. So our students, like I am a Master of Social Work. I am a social worker by training. But after my post-graduation in the field of social work, I decided to pursue law as well, because I see that the law is a very, very powerful tool which can, which comes very handy to people to help. So when our students go to the field, when they identify issues, creating awareness related to different government programs which are there to help them, creating awareness related to legal rights which are available for them, laws which are there to address their needs, and naturally we need to create awareness about, and in the process, if they require help, we help them liaison, we help them connect, we help them work as a mediator and a resource persons who can reach the need to where the resources are available. So that becomes law and social work going hand in hand, quite together.
As rightly pointed out, that the social workers are connecting links for the needy people to access such resources. It is also commonly found that the social workers are the first responders in domestic violence cases as well. So what are the challenges faced by the social workers in such cases?
Challenges to address the issue of domestic violence, many challenges. And you're rightly, when you say that social workers are the first one to respond to that, while as a lawyers, as a students of law, you are an advocate of legal aspects. Social workers are advocate of social aspects. So we are social advocates, and you all are, from the legal point of view. And when they come to us, the challenges are especially related to domestic violence. We find the vulnerability of the woman, first of all, to recognize and accept that something wrong is going on with her. Because what we perceive as domestic violence, many times women don't even think that something wrong is happening with them. Violence for many of us means only if it is a brutal act, right, of physical harm, but psychological violence, your economic violence, even not talking and making a person feel isolated within the house is also a kind of violence which many women talk about or experience. Like recently, not even 1 month ago, a case had come to me where a very, very well-educated woman, as the highest level of education, was saying that for 9 months in her house, women spoke to her. And she felt so lonely in that house, because in our society, women leave their parental home and come to a marital home. So acceptance of the family is so very important. So recognizing that something that is happening with me should not happen itself, the challenge begins with that. So for me, that was a violence to her, but she said, it's okay, that's the way I'm learned to cope. And I'm living with this for past so many years, that hoping that things will improve once. Right? So the act of violence, what we term it to be a violence, is something that itself is a biggest challenge, because minor slapping or pinching or pushing is not considered as a violence in our society. It's considered as a day-to-day living, that husband wife hai to fights to hoti hi rahegi, quarrels to hote hi rahenge, shouting and screaming, not allowing to step out of the house, not allowing to wear what one likes to wear, are also forms of violence, but that is never accepted as a form of violence. So the one challenge is, what you term as a violence, it's a big challenge. Second, after recognizing that there is a violence, would you like to do something about it? Not necessarily that you have to break up the marriage or leave the house, no. But how you can negotiate, how you can assert, how you can address what is happening with you and stop it. That itself requires a lot of courage, requires confidence, requires willingness. So that is the second challenge. And the third, when it comes to the worst form, and that's where the law comes in, right? Because, in our society, when a woman steps into a police station or goes to the lawyer, it is considered as that marriage is going to break down. Because no one would like, कि kala coat wala ya brown color clothes wala will enter the house to, address the complaint. So they wouldn't want that. But, when extreme cases happens and you feel that the woman should go to the police or take a help of law, still women are not willing. And many times they decide, okay, I'll go and file a complaint to the police station or I'll go and to the lawyer and meet. After a few days, they withdraw the complaint, thinking, I have, he has learned his lesson and now I don't want to pursue it. So these are a lot of challenges, seeking support from the parents, family, seeking support from neighborhood, community, sometimes seeking support from your own children is also a challenge. So there are many challenges, but each to its own. Every woman goes through it, and as I said, poor one, uneducated one, se leke, people who are belonging to high class, high caste, very educated society women also experience this, and they all have their own challenges.
Ma'am, do you recollect any of your personal experience of such case where you faced such challenges and you were able to tackle them?
Yeah, there are many cases in past more than 40 years that I have been working on this issue of domestic violence and have come across many women who needed help, and I have tried to help them in some way, whatever else was possible. So here is one case of a woman who was very highly educated and professional, rather. She was a professional and she was working from before marriage, and after she got married to someone who was also a professional, and he very well knew that she's a working woman and has such a kind of a demanding requirement of profession. We got married, and then the woman who was independent, working, earning, he expected that all her earning becomes part of the joint account. So she said, fine, everything we are sharing now, the life, we might as well share the account. And so all her income would go to the joint account, over which she thought that she would have an access to. But then she realized slowly that even if she had to withdraw 2,000 rupees from him, from that account, she needed a permission. From him, or he would ask her why would she want to withdraw that 2,000 rupees. So, and it began with that slow kind of a controlling behavior that she started realizing, but then she said, it's okay. Then they had a child, and like that the life went on for 18 years, and slowly she realized that she's no more the person that she used to be. She lost the confidence of her professional life, because she had to manage multiple responsibility of taking care of the house, of the child, and of her professional demand, which she was unable to cope without any support. And she had thought that she'll receive the support from her family or from him, which she did not get. Now, when you realize, you start seeing a person really shattering, losing confidence, having a low self-esteem slowly, you feel as a woman that she needs to be helped, right? And I was very fortunate that when I came in touch with her, we used to have sessions. I used to discuss with her. I used to even discuss with him, her husband, and used to have interactions, because I have a wonderful, very, very supportive family, and my husband, and gave the example. In fact, we had once a joint meeting of my husband with him, and they shared as a professional how it is important to support and all, and slowly, some self-realization also took place in this person's life, and the life changed for her for better. So this is one satisfaction I had. But at the same time, there are many, many cases where we took 3 steps forward, but we had to take 2 steps backward. But then I had a satisfaction that at least 1 step we had taken forward. So while you are working with the women who are survivors of violence, you find it is not easy for a woman to make decisions, because first of all, our society itself believes that women have to endure violence, women need to be sacrificing, we need to adjust, and breaking the marriage is not the solution. Of course, it's not the solution, but adjustment from both the sides, compromises from both the sides, and sacrifices also from both the sides are required. If women makes 80%, 70%, 20%, 30% is also expected from other side, which many times are very difficult to come forth. So, and family expects that ek baar shaadi kar di, so you have to tolerate all whatever goes through in your life. So many times, for the sake of children, for the lack of support from anyone, women learn to continue to live in this kind of relationships.
That's very unfortunate that still such instances take place in our society, but I'm very hopeful that you and us as a community as well, we try to address those issues, and we try to reconciliate with amicable solutions to that issues.
Yes.
So you mentioned that women face many barriers, many challenges. What, according to you, is the biggest barrier when they are trying to get redressal or trying to get those legal remedies as well?
Conditioning. The biggest barrier is our social conditioning. We are taught from the childhood in our Indian society as a woman, this is what is expected of you, and this is what is not expected of you. And this is not only true for women, it is also expected of men. All men, boys are taught from the childhood that you are the protector of the family, you have to take care of the family, you have to be always earning. Even if you are earning, you have to be earning more than your wife, you have to be a macho man, you have to be performing, the bread earner's role in the family. So poor man, even if he doesn't want to work, even if he is happy earning less, he has a pressure to meet with those expectations which society has laid on him, which society has, and the family has laid on him. So, I think both the gender, men as well as female, are victims of this kind of conditioning and societal expectation and socialization processes that goes through. So, a man, if a woman loses her husband, she is expected to cry. But if a man who loves his wife very, very dearly, if she passes away, he cannot weep, because he has to be strong man always. Right? So he will cry inside the bathroom. And the woman, even if she doesn't feel like crying, because that man has been very torturous to her, but she is expected to. So this kind of conditioning, I think, is the biggest barrier for both men and women. So if we want a gender equal society, I think it is very, very important that we come out of this role expectations and let people flourish, perform what they think is most liked by them, what they would like to do for themselves.
Ma'am, you are also the director of IQAC for the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. So, IQAC works for defining quality parameters for the university, and with a view of a safe and violence-free campus as a key metric of institutional quality. How does MSU aim to achieve this?
NSU is committed to zero tolerance to any such kind of violence or and to have a violence-free campus. It is our commitment, and the university has taken all the measures and have set up all the mechanisms to make it a reality. So we have a women grievance redressal cell in the university to help address gender issues that come up. We have a students grievance redressal cell at the university to address any issues that students come across. And as per the POSH Act guideline, the university also has internal complaint committee wherein any woman who experience any kind of violence, especially sexual harassment on the campus, can come and lodge their complaint. So the university has a commitment to that. We create awareness on the campus with teachers, with students, with non-teaching staffs, make them aware about different legal provisions. The university collaborates with Department of Women and Child Development of Government of Gujarat through DET's Gender Resource Center, and every year we have such legal awareness programs related to women, laws related to women within the campus for both teaching, non-teaching, as well as students population of the university. We have had the chairperson of the National Commission for Women coming to the university, and we conducted we do frequently conduct awareness programs by inviting such high stature people to talk about different bodies and systems that are set up in our country to help women. So the university's commitment on gender issues are unparalleled, and zero tolerance is there for everything that we try to do to prevent this kind of incidences happening on campus.
That's great to hear. So that from the university level itself, we can counter the conditioning which they had in their past, so that the future generation does not suffer from such violences.
Yes.
Absolutely. Ma'am, you have been the former dean of the Faculty of Social Work and also the former officer on special duty for the Faculty of Law. How do you think both the fields, social work and law, should act usefully to bring changes and to bring better redressal mechanisms in the existing legislative paradigms with a compassionate understanding of the victims' lived realities?
I think both complement each other. A social worker cannot bring, the purpose of social work profession is to bring about a social change, and to bring about a social change you require social legislations, because the law is one of the important tools to bring about a change. So, and implementation of law is the key of any legal measures that have been formed. So wherein a social worker can play a very, very important role. And as I said earlier, social advocate and a lawyer have to work together, join hands and work together. So I think if we both this profession, if they complement each other and together can definitely lead to bring about a different India, Viksit Bharat that we are talking about.
For the future as well, you have had your fair share of experience in industry and government policy making roles as well. Do you suggest any reforms or changes in the existing legislative frameworks like POSH and other gender related laws?
I think the laws are very wonderfully crafted. It's a very well curated, designed. The problem is in terms of its implementation. So we need to have stringent implementing machineries, and we require people like a watchdog to see that how this gets implemented and justice are delivered. And of course our judiciary needs to be, we need to really accelerate our judicial processes so that justices are given at the right time. So as we say, justice delayed is justice denied.
Absolutely true. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your presence and time here. Just to conclude this podcast, I would like one message for the female audience and the one message for the male audience of this podcast from your side.
One very important message which I have followed in my life, and this is more appropriate for a female, and that is from the inspiration of Mahatma Gandhi: be the change you want to see in the world. So if I want women to be empowered, I need to be empowered. And for a male, if for your success, if female can be there behind you, because we always say, no, behind every man's success, there is a female. Be a man who is behind your female success.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful message, and thank you for your time.
All the best.